Hello, this is Ari Waldman. I'm a person who stutters. Today is Sunday, October 18, 2020, the 30th of the month of Jewish month of Tishre. This is my video parsha YouTube recording. I forgot the day. Please forgive me. Parsha Noach. We're going to start something very interesting every day, every week from now on Sunday. We're going to give the summary of the Good Chumash. Parshas Bereshis contains one positive Mishnah, mitzvah to be fruitful and multiply. Without further ado, Parshas Noach, this is the summary, the name of the Parsha. Our Parsha begins, these are the offspring of Noach. Noach was, the Mishnah asks, why is Noach's name written twice, when once would have sufficed? Because answers the Midrash, Noach can be translated as serenity, niyacha. Noach brought serenity for himself and serenity for the world, serenity for his ancestors, and serenity for the world, serenity Let me start this again. Because, answers the Midrash, Noach can be translated as serenity, niyacha. Noach brought serenity for himself and serenity for the world. Serenity for his ancestors who could rest in peace in their graves, and serenity for his children. Serenity in the upper worlds, since the heavenly prosecutions against mankind stopped, and serenities in the lower worlds, serenity in his world, and serenity in the next world. This serenity was achieved by the floodwaters, referred to by the Torah as the waters of Noach. Hasidic thought explains that before the flood, physical matter was brittle and insensitive to anything spiritual. In such an atmosphere, corruption flourished as people felt little accountability for their actions. Hasidus teaches that waters of the flood were a mitzvah ritual bath. A person who immerses in a mikvah might notice that his thoughts are slightly pure that day, or that his conscience agitates him a little more. So too, the global mikvah, which occurred in Noach's generation, had a purifying effect on the physical world, bring soul and body to a heightened level of communication. After the flood, the world and its inhabitants now had a conscience and greater appreciation of God. And this ensured that the world would have a genuine serenity, corrupt their newfound spiritual sensitivity would ensure that they would have the motivation to repent. This would always be worthwhile for God to continue sustaining his world. Without further ado, Parsha Noach. The offerings, the offering of Noach. These are the offspring of Noach. Noach was a righteous man. He was perfectly righteous in relation to his generation. Noach walked only with the support of God. Noach fathered Shem, Ham, and Japheth. News of the flood. Noach builds an ark. The earth became depraved and idolatrous before God, and the earth became full of robbery. God saw the earth, and look, it had become depraved for all human and animal flesh, and had depraved its nature upon the earth. God said to Noach, the end of all flesh has come before me, as the earth has become full of robbery because of them. I am going to destroy them from earth alternatively with the earth. You should make an ark of gopher wood. You should make an ark with compartments. You should coat both inside and outside with tar. This is how you should make it. The length of the ark, 300 cubits, its breadth, 50 cubits, and its height, 30 cubits. You should make a light for the ark. You should finish it slanting a cubit high at the top. You should place the entrance of the ark at its side. You should make it with the bottom second and third stories. I am ready to consent to man's destruction and bring a flood of water upon the earth to destroy all flesh, whose beneath the skies, in which there is the spirit of life, all that is upon the earth will perish. I will set up my covenant with you, and you will come into the ark, you, your sons, your wife, and your sons' wives with you, from every living demon and from all flesh. You shall bring 2 of each species into the ark to keep alive with you. There shall be male and female. From the birds which had only bred with their own species, from the animals which had only bred with their own species, and from every creeping thing on the earth. We start this from the beginning, from the top of the page. You should make a light for the ark. You should finish it slanting a cubit high at the top. You should place the entrance of the ark at its side. You shall make it with the bottom, second, and third stories. I am ready to consent to man's destruction and bring a flood of water upon the earth to destroy all flesh beneath the skies, in which there is the spirit of life. All that is upon the earth will perish. I will set upon... You okay? What happened? I will set up my covenant with you, and you will come into the ark. You, your sons, your wife, and your wife's sons' wives with you. From every little demon, from every living demon, and from all flesh, you shall bring 2 of each species into the ark to keep alive with you. And you shall be male and female. And the birds which had only bred with their own species, from the animals which had bred with their own own species, and from every creeping thing on the ground, which had bred with their own species, 2 of each, and will come to you of their own accord, to be kept alive. As for you, take for yourself from every edible food and bring it in with you. It will be for you and for them to eat. Noach made the ark. He did everything that God had commanded him. This is the end of my video parsha. Have a good night.